So welcome you all for Tungola online classes. We are discussing the chapter moving charges and magnetism. So in that moving charges and magnetism, in the last class we completed regarding toroid, and after completion of the toroid, so today we will discuss regarding one of the important topic or important question, so that is torque acting on a current law placed in a magnetic field. And after toroid yesterday, so we have derived a expression for forces between two parallel current carrying conductors. And when two parallel current carrying conductors will attract each other and when they will repel each other. When that question also very important. Okay, na? So today topic is torque acting on a current law, expression for torque acting on a current law placed in a uniform magnetic field, in a uniform magnetic field, okay nara? It's very important question, and in this chapter this is the third 5 marks question. So first 5 marks question, obtain the expression for magnetic field due to current carrying coil. The second 5 marks question yesterday, forces between the two parallel current carrying conductors, and this is the third one. So expression for torque acting on a current law placed in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, and this topic is very important. Based on this principle only, the next topic will study moving coil galvanometer. So everyone know that galvanometer which is used to measure current. So that moving coil galvanometer MCG works on the principle of this torque acting only. So okay, torque means, before starting this derivation, so what is the meaning of torque? Torque is called as turning effect of force. Torque represented by tau. So torque is the product of magnitude of force into perpendicular distance between the line of action of forces. Generally in rotational motion you study, for a body to rotate we need to apply two forces which are equal in magnitude but which are not collinear, which are not along the same line. So they will constitute a couple. Two forces are there, F and F. So two forces which are equal in magnitude, which are acting at two different points, so they will constitute a couple. The moment of couple is also called as torque. To calculate the torque, force should be multiplied with a perpendicular distance between these two forces. So that will give you torque. Torque is called as turning effect of force. Okay, so this is the basic definition or basic knowledge you require for deriving this. So expression for torque acting on a current law placed in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, so let us see this. I will derive this derivation as per NCERT in two cases are there. First one is a simple case. So if the plane of the coil is in the magnetic field, if the plane of the coil is in the magnetic field, then I want to derive expression for torque. So to derive the expression for torque, we need to produce the magnetic field. So let us see the required diagram for producing this magnetic field. So let us considering two poles, one is north pole, south pole, to produce the magnetic field. Now let me consider one rectangular loop. The rectangular loop was connected to external battery. The battery was connected here and provided for the rings here. Okay. Now what we are, this rectangular loop length value, so let me call the breadth value B and the length value let me call it as L. Now what you are doing, the rectangular loop was connected to battery, here slipping rings will be there, so current will passes this rectangular loop along this direction. Now actually you know that whenever a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, we will experience a force acting on a conductor placed in a magnetic field formula F is equal to BIL sin theta, which can be also written as F is equal to I into L bar cross B bar. The direction of this force can be calculated by using the Fleming's left hand rule. Can you remember? So according to the Fleming's left hand rule, so Fleming's left hand rule is the rule for finding, so which one? Direction of magnetic force acting on a current carrying conductor. So what we need to stretch? Forefinger, central finger and thumb. So forefinger is indicating the direction of B bar, central finger is indicating the direction of the current, thumb will indicate the direction of force. So compulsory you need to know this information to derive the expression for this. When this force value is 0, if theta is equal to 0, if theta is equal to 0 means if L and B both are parallel, force is equal to 0. There is no force acting on a current carrying conductor which is placed in the direction of B bar. Now let me call this current loop, so rectangular loop or current loop. So I will show the direction of current like this. This is the direction of current I. Now rectangular loop name can I call A, B, and this is C and this is D. Now you see the rectangular loop consists of 4 conducting wires. One is of AB and BC and CD and DE. So all are carrying the current but not in the same direction. So when I go through which one are parallel, here direction of north pole or south pole is there. So field lines will be starting from the north pole, they will terminate at the south pole. So this is the direction of field lines. Now this magnetic field is parallel to AB and CD. So due to that reason, the force acting on which one AB and CD will be equal to 0. The magnetic force acting on the side AB and magnetic force acting on the side CD will be equal to 0, since the reason is theta is equal to 0. That CD and AB are parallel to magnetic field. So that's why theta value equal to 0, force value 0. So only still what is left? Force acting on the side DA and force acting on the side BC will be equal. That force value given by F is equal to BIL. So B into I into L into sin theta, theta value 90. Why theta value 90? Because this face ADA and BC perpendicular to B bar. So whatever the lines I drawn, that is the direction of B bar. So that's why perpendicular theta 90. So can I call these forces? So which is equal to B into I into L. So the force acting DA, so force acting on the side BC equal in magnitude. But direction of the force acting on DC and direction of the force acting on BC can be calculated by using Fleming's left hand rule. So according to the Fleming's left hand rule, so direction is given by, so which one? This is the direction of the magnetic field and this is the direction of which one? Current. So thumb will be indicating magnetic field perpendicular to plane passing into the paper. So what is the direction? Magnetic field perpendicular to plane passing into the paper. Whereas if I want to calculate the force acting, which force? The force acting DA, so which is equal to B into I into L, whose direction is perpendicular to plane and passing into the paper. So into the paper or plane. Okay, ra? Similarly, the force acting on the side BC will be also given by B into I into L. What is the direction of this force can be calculated. So this force, this is the direction of the current, this is the direction of the magnetic field perpendicular to plane passing out of the paper. It is perpendicular to plane passing out of the paper, passing out of the paper. Now these forces which are equal in magnitude but which are not collinear, they will constitute a couple. So totally two forces are acting on the side, which one? So on the side DA, force acting can I call FDA, perpendicular to plane passing into the paper, and on the side BC, force is given by FBC, which is perpendicular to plane passing out of the paper. Your wish. So anyone you can represent into and anyone you can represent out. So both are equal in magnitude but acting at two different points. So they will constitute a couple. So then what is the perpendicular distance between the line of action of these two forces? That perpendicular distance value exactly equal to breadth B. So due to now these two forces which are equal in magnitude and acting at two different points, so they will constitute a couple. So what is because of these two forces, so there will be acting some torque. Torque is the product of magnitude of either force into perpendicular distance between the two forces. So here magnitude of two forces are same, which is B into I into L. What is the perpendicular distance between the two forces is given by B. So torque is given by B into I into L into B, which is given by tau is equal to B into I into E, where A is the area. So if the coil having n turns, so I will get the answer n into B into I into E. This is the expression for torque acting on a current loop placed whose plane will be in the direction of magnetic field. If the plane of the coil is in the direction of the magnetic field, the expression for torque is given by n into B into I into E. Understood? So directions are important. Y force acting on AB and CD is 0. Y force acting on DA and BC is not 0. So YDA BC, one is perpendicular to plane passing into the paper and this is perpendicular to plane passing out of the paper. That is also important. Are you getting So forces. First I calculated force acting on DA and BC. Then I calculated the perpendicular distance between these two forces. Then I calculated the torque. This is the expression for torque acting on a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field whenever a plane of the coil is placed or plane of the coil is in the magnetic field. So what is the conclusion is, whenever a current carrying loop placed in external uniform magnetic field, so the loop will experience a torque. So what happened to that loop? Will rotate. What happened to the loop? Will rotate. That rotational effect only called as torque. Clear? So next one is, now if plane of the coil is not in the direction of magnetic field. So if the plane of the coil is not in the direction of which one? Magnetic field. Direction of magnetic field. So I will draw this diagram still simple. Directly instead of the magnetic poles, I will show the magnetic field with the field lines. In this case, if the plane of the coil is not aligned in the direction of the magnetic field, how can I calculate expression for torque acting? So what I want to calculate? Expression for torque acting. So let us see. So maximum cases, if they not given, which case whether the plane of the coil is in the direction of magnetic field or perpendicular to magnetic field, better you take this case only. So you consider, now let us consider uniform magnetic field. Uniform magnetic field is represented by field lines which are straight and parallel. This magnetic field of induction value B bar. So in this magnetic field, let me consider one rectangular loop. So what is that rectangular loop name? Can I call A, B, C, D? This rectangular loop is carrying the current like this. Now, so rectangular loop was placed in uniform magnetic field. So this rectangular loop carrying a current I. What I want to derive? Expression for torque acting on a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field. Okay, Nara? And here what I will do is, so this is the magnetic field, na? So I will draw normal to the plane of the coil. This is the normal drawn to the plane of the coil. Let us suppose this normal drawn to the plane of the coil, making an angle alpha with a B bar. What is alpha? I have drawn one normal to the plane of the coil. The normal making an angle theta with which one? So with the B bar. Now, what is the force acting on AB? So here also this length value, so breadth value will be equal to, so breadth is, can I call AB is equal to DC will be equal to breadth value B, and length value, so DA will be equal to BC is equal to L. So length value L, breadth value B, and area value let me call A, and number of turns value, total number of turns. How many number of turns are there? The turns value N. Then the force acting on AB given by B into, so I into which one? Its breadth value B na. Similarly, force acting on, so DC, that is given by, it is also B into I into B. How can I calculate the direction of force acting on AB and DC? That direction can be calculated by using Fleming left hand rule. According to this rule, this is the direction of the current and this is the direction of the magnetic field. Then force will be perpendicular to plane passing outward, like this is the direction of force acting on AB. Similarly, the force acting on CD can be calculated. So this is the direction of magnetic field and this is the direction of the current. So this is the direction of force. Are you getting Aram? So I need to represent like this. This is the direction of magnetic field. This is the direction of current. So force will be acting showing perpendicular to plane passing outward. So this is the value of FAB. How FAB and FDC? FAB and FDC both are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So FAB is equal to FDC. So that's why the net force acting on, so net force value will be 0. So what happened to FAB plus FDC? So will become 0. Are you getting Ara? Force acting on AB, so that is the direction of magnetic field. This is the direction of the current direction like this. So you need to represent the magnetic field direction like this and current direction like this. This is the direction of current. So force acting on AB and force acting on DC are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. They will cancel out with each other. Last time also forces are 0. Now forces will be cancel out with each other. You need to apply the Fleming's left hand rule. Similarly, the force acting on which side DC, so will be equal to force acting on the side ABC will be equal to force value B into I into L. Now which one? DC and BC. So DC, what is the direction of the current? Current direction is given by this. Okay, and magnetic field direction given by this. This is the direction of force. Force will be perpendicular to plane passing inward outward. So if I call this is the force acting on which one? Force acting on AD. This is total AD. Force acting on AD perpendicular to plane passing inward. So can I call this force value? So FDC. Similarly, force acting on BC given by, this is the direction of the current, this is the direction of magnetic field. So thumb is showing outward. Force is perpendicular to plane passing outward. So this is the value of FBC. Now see, so here can I write force acting on AD will be like this, force acting on BC will be like this. These two forces are equal in magnitude but acting at two different points, so they will constitute a couple. Because of this couple, what happened to this loop or rectangular loop will rotate. That rotational effect only called as torque. To calculate the torque, what I want to calculate? Now, this is the direction of magnetic field and here we drawn the normal. The normal drawn is making an angle alpha. Now, what I want to calculate, when I extend this, the perpendicular distance between these two. Actually here, what is the breadth value? So, this value was there now. So, this is equal to breadth B. This is equal to, so B. When it is making an angle alpha, can I call the plane of the coil is making an angle theta? Here theta and alpha is very important. Alpha is the normal drawn to the plane of the coil making an angle. So, alpha with the B bar and theta is the angle made by the plane of the coil with the B bar and B. So, what is the breadth value will be given by, that is B. So, from the geometry we can show. Now, I want to calculate this perpendicular distance. If I call this name is some P and this name is some Q and this name is R, then torque is given by force into perpendicular distance between these two forces is PQ. So, force value will be given by B into I into L into perpendicular distance value. How can I calculate? If this is theta, so we can show this is also equal to theta and this value is equal to B cos theta. By knowing that, here I can write B into cos theta. So, from this torque value will be equal to B into, so I into L into B into cos theta. So, from this tau value is equal to B into I into A into cos theta. For n turns, n is the total number of turns, in a coil, then tau given by n into B into I into A into cos theta. But from the diagram you can show alpha and theta both are perpendicular. So, theta plus alpha is equal to 90, then theta is equal to 90 minus alpha, then I will get tau value is equal to n into B into I into A into cos 90 minus alpha. So, which is given by tau is equal to n into B into I into A cos 90 minus alpha given by sin alpha. So, this diagram is important here. Force acting on DC, but remember they are perpendicular to plane passing outward, but you cannot draw the diagram force value like this direction. So, I drawn one downward, one upward, one perpendicular to plane passing inward, one perpendicular to plane passing outward. These two forces are equal in magnitude, which are not collinear, they will constitute a couple. To calculate which one? To calculate the torque, we need to know the perpendicular distance between these two line of action of forces. So, this is actually, we consider this is the plane of the coil. So, this is coil plane will be like this. This breadth value will be equal to B. That is why B resolved into components, it will become B cos theta. If this is theta, this is also equal to theta. So, this is B cos theta. Two formulas we got. One is n into B into I into A into cos theta. Other is n into B into I into A into sin alpha. When we will get cos theta, we will get sin alpha. Whenever plane of the coil is making an angle, we will get cos theta. Whenever normal drawn to the plane of the coil making an angle, we will get a sin theta or sin alpha. Clear, Dara? So, this is the expression for torque acting on a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field. So, whenever a current carrying loop placed in a magnetic field will experience a torque, due to the torque, the magnetic loop will be rotated. That rotational effect only called as what? Torque. So, that is the final expression for torque. So, what is the torque acting on a current loop placed in a magnetic field expression we got? When plane of the coil given means, plane of the coil making an angle means n into B into, so I into A into cos theta. When normal drawn to the plane of the coil given means n into b into, so I into a into sin alpha. Okay, Nara? Or otherwise, that is, I can take also sin theta also I can take, or sin alpha. From this, tau can be written as this n into b into, so I into e. So already we written magnetic moment. Current carrying coil, what is the magnetic moment of the current carrying loop? Magnetic moment represented by m. So m is equal to n into ampere turns the area of the coil. Yesterday class we discussed. Capital M is equal to n into I into E. Then what happened to torque? Torque is equal to, so capital M into B into sin alpha, which can be also written as tau bar is equal to m bar cross b bar. So whenever a loop of magnetic moment m placed in a external uniform magnetic field of induction b bar, the torque acting on a current loop is given by tau bar. Tau bar is equal to m bar cross b bar. This equation is similar to that of whenever a electric dipole placed in uniform electric field. So what is the torque acting on a electric dipole given by torque acting on a electric dipole? So torque on a electric dipole. In electrostatic you studied. So electric dipole placed in uniform electric field of intensity E bar. So torque given by tau is equal to P into E into sin theta, or which can be also written as tau bar is equal to, so P bar cross E bar. Can you remember this? Where theta is the angle between, so P bar and E bar. This is for electrostatics. Whereas in magnetism, moving charges and magnetism, tau bar is equal to, so m bar cross b bar. So m bar is the magnetic moment. M bar is the magnetic moment. And direction of m bar will be in the direction of which one? In the direction perpendicular to the plane of the coil. Which one? Perpendicular to the plane of the coil. Here alpha is the angle between m bar and b bar. So that is the expression for torque acting on a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field. Now let me see when this torque acting value maximum, when this torque value will be minimum. So if whenever I will discuss for special cases. In these special cases, the first case, if theta is equal to 0, if theta is equal to 0 means that is m bar and b bar both are parallel. M bar or b bar both are parallel means, so normal drawn to the plane of the coil, so will be normal drawn to the plane of the coil will be in the direction of which one? B bar. So that is m bar and b bar both are parallel. That time what happened to torque? Torque will be equal to 0, because here I needed to write alpha 0. If alpha 0, m bar and b bar is parallel, then the current loop will be in equilibrium. That equilibrium is called as stable equilibrium. So what is the meaning of stable equilibrium? Whenever the net torque acting value is 0, then the loop is said to be in stable equilibrium. From this equilibrium position, when you displace the loop, again it will align in the direction of magnetic field. Similarly, for the second case, if whenever alpha value is equal to, if alpha is equal to 180, alpha 180 means that is m bar and b bar are anti-parallel. When both are anti-parallel, then also torque value will be equal to 0. But in this case, this equilibrium is said to be unstable equilibrium. Which equilibrium? Unstable equilibrium. Even these cases you studied in electrostatics also. Condition for stable equilibrium, condition for unstable equilibrium. So unstable equilibrium. In this position, whenever the loop is displaced from its equilibrium position, so with increasing the angle of rotation, the torque value will be increases. So when torque acting on a loop will be maximum, whenever if alpha value is equal to 90 If alpha is equal to 90, so torque value maximum, that maximum torque is given by M into B. So alpha value 90 means, what does it mean? Alpha is the angle made by plane of the coil with B bar. So alpha value 90 means, what does it mean? The plane of the coil is in the direction of B bar. When plane of the coil is in the direction of B bar, so torque acting on the coil will be maximum. That maximum torque value given by tau max. Tau max value is equal to M into B. Even in electrostatics there you studied. So work done for rotating a dipole through an angle theta. So W value is given by PE into, so cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Can you remember? For a dipole to rotate from a position of angle theta 1 to the final position theta 2, the work done given by what? Tau W is equal to PE into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Here what will get work done value? So that value will be equal to M into B into, so cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. If initially plane of the coil is making an angle theta 1 with the magnetic field of induction B bar, to rotate through an angle theta 2, the work done value will be given by W is equal to M into B into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Can you remember? Even there also we written the same formula we will apply here. So this derivation we will study in magnetic field next chapter. In magnetism, whenever a dipole is placed in uniform magnetic field, so what is the expression for work done to rotate the dipole? The work done value given by MB into cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Okay, Nara? So this is for expression for torque acting on a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field for two cases. First case is if the plane of the coil is in the direction of B bar. The second case is if the plane of the coil is not in the direction of B bar. Okay, Nara? This is for torque acting on a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field. After completion of the torque acting on a current loop placed in a moving in a uniform magnetic field, now we will see another important question of this chapter. So that is moving coil galvanometer. Moving coil galvanometer. Shortcut form is very important. That is MCG. Moving coil galvanometer. So last topic of this chapter, which is also very important for 5 marks. Describe construction and working of moving coil galvanometer. So what is moving coil galvanometer? A moving coil galvanometer is a device which is used to measure small current. That small current is order of 10 power minus 9 ampere. That much small current can be calculated by using this moving coil galvanometer. A device which is used to measure the current is order of 10 power minus 9 amperes. That device name is called as moving coil galvanometer. So what is the working principle of moving coil galvanometer? So moving coil galvanometer works on the principle of torque acting on a current loop. Torque acting on a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field. Whenever a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field, it will experience a torque. And that torque derivation also we have seen. So the torque value given by tau is equal to M into B into, so MB sin theta, or tau is equal to M into B into cos alpha. Sin alpha and cos theta. When plane of the coil is making an angle theta, so alpha MB into sin alpha. When plane of the coil making an angle theta, MB into cos theta. That is the working principle of this moving coil galvanometer. What is that? Whenever a current loop placed in a uniform magnetic field will experience a torque. So that is the working principle of which one? This moving coil galvanometer. After completion of the working principle, now we will discuss for construction. So what is the construction and working of moving coil galvanometer? So construction of moving coil galvanometer. So construction of moving coil galvanometer. So let us see once. So what we will consider for this moving coil galvanometer? So this is the diagram required for construction of this moving coil galvanometer. So what does it consist of? It consists of one rectangular coil, a rectangular coil of large number of turns of insulated material. One rectangular coil of large number of turns of insulated material, large number of turns of copper wire. That copper wire will be wounded on a non-magnetic frame like a brass. What we needed? So this is the enlarged circuit diagram. Even this one can be also shown like this. So this is of north polo, south polo, and here it is of our coil. And here one pointer will be there. The pointer is moving on a scale will be there. So magnetic field will be like this. Simple construction. What does it consist of? One rectangular coil of large number of turns. This rectangular coil will be suspended between the two horseshoe magnetic poles. What is the purpose of using these horseshoe magnetic poles? To provide the radial magnetic field. Magnetic field will be radial, so which will make a plane of the coil will be always so in the direction of magnetic field. When plane of the coil is in the direction of magnetic field, so that time what happen? Alpha value will be 90. When alpha value 90, so what happened to torque? Torque will be maximum. Now, so this is the enlarged view, so this is a normal view. Now this is our rectangular coil of large turns which is wounded on a non-magnetic material. This rectangular coil will be suspended with the help of phosphorescent bronze ribbon. Which one? Phosphorescent bronze ribbon will be there, and here one mirror also will be provided. This coil will be suspended in between the two concave magnetic poles. So the bottom of the coil is connected to spring. The spring will be connected to the terminal T2. So one more terminal, the upper end will be connected to where? The upper end is connected to the terminal, so T1. Which is the current you want to measure? So that current will be connected across, so T1 and T2. It is given across T1 and T2. So whenever a current is passing through this coil, what happens? The coil will experience a torque. So because of the torque, what happened to the coil? Will rotate. So whenever the coil is rotated, what happens? So the phosphorescent bronze ribbon will be twisted. When it is the ribbon will be twisted, what happens? Because of the bottom spring. So what happened to the ribbon will be twisted means a restoring torque will develop. First thing is, so this is an essential requirement. And one more important point here is, so at the center of the coil we will place one, so if the coil is rectangular, so we will place one cylindrical iron core in order to increase the strength of the magnetic field. And here one mirror will be provided. The mirror is in order to detect through what angle the coil is rotated. Even in some of the galvanometer, instead of the mirror, directly they will provide one pointer. So that pointer will be moving on a scale, circular scale. That circular scale having a 0 reading at the center and equal divisions on the both sides. Are you getting Ara? So construction of moving coil galvanometer mainly consists of rectangular coil, horseshoe magnetic poles, phosphorescent bronze ribbon, and a spring. This is the spring, and total box is enclosed in a glass vessel in order to overcome the disturbance due to air resistance or air. Okay, so what is the purpose? And a cylindrical core is placed at the center to increase the strength of the magnetic field. Because of the concave magnetic poles, so magnetic field will be radial, which will make the plane of the coil will be always in the direction of magnetic field. Whenever a plane of the coil is in the direction of magnetic field, so then what happens? So torque experienced will be maximum. When we allow the current to pass, the current which is to be measured, if the current is allowed to pass, then what happens? So a deflection torque will be produced. What is the deflection torque value given by? N into B into, so I into A into sine 90 degrees. Why 90 degrees means plane of the coil will be parallel to magnetic field. So that's why alpha value 90. The deflection torque value given by N into B into I into A. Because of the deflection torque, the coil will be rotated. Whenever coil will be rotated, the phosphorescent bronze ribbon will be twisted. Because of the twisting, a restoring torque will develop. The restoring torque developed value directly proportional to theta. Theta is the angle of twisting. So tau r value will be equal to, so can I call it as k into theta, where k is the, so can I call otherwise instead of this k, so I will call c into theta, where c is called as couple per unit twist, couple per unit twist. So okay, then the restoring torque value given by tau r. So tau r is equal to c into theta. So when coil will be in equilibrium, for equilibrium condition is, for equilibrium, so what is the condition given by? The deflection torque should be equal to restoring torque. Deflection torque value is N into B into I into A. The restoring torque value is equal to c into theta. From this I value is equal to c by, so N into B into A into theta, which can be also written as I value is equal to some k into theta, where k is a constant term, the proportionality constant, the value of k given by, so c divided by N into B into A, this k called as galvanometer constant. So what is the name of k? It is the galvanometer constant. Okay, Nana? So then I will get I value is equal to k into theta. So I value directly proportional to theta. That is, the current which is to be measured is directly proportional to the deflection produced in the moving coil galvanometer, or with what angle the coil is rotated. If you know that angle, are you getting a simple concept ra? This concept is completely related with the last topic. In that last topic, whenever a current carrying loop placed in a uniform magnetic field will experience a torque, that loop will rotate. That you know that. Based on that principle only, here moving coil galvanometer is constructed. In this moving coil galvanometer, we will suspend a rectangular coil between the magnetic poles, horseshoe magnetic poles. When allowing the current to pass, the coil will be rotated. Because of the rotation of the coil, the suspended wire will be twisted. When the wire is twisted, so restoring torque will develop. The developed restoring torque is directly proportional to angle of twisting. So when coil will be in equilibrium position, the restoring torque will be balanced by the deflection torque. The net torque value will be 0. Then it will be in rotational equilibrium. The coil will not rotate. Based on that condition, so we obtain the expression for I. So current passing through a galvanometer directly proportional to which one? Directly proportional to the deflection. The deflection value can be calculated. There are two methods are there. One method is called as what? So mirror and scale method. And here directly, if the coil is rotated, the attached pointer, one aluminum pointer will be there. The aluminum pointer will move